Hello and welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Pillars of Eternity. So, let's walk into this house. Should we speak with the grieving mother? Excuse me? At first glance, she seems nothing more than a middle-aged woman, unremarkable, maybe less charmed than most, who seem more focused on weathering her lap than her surrounding. Yet you suddenly notice she's not stripping the vegetables before her any longer. She's wavering, and the vegetable spots are now missing. She still pays you no mind. Her brown looks torn and snagged from lack of washing. Like many townsfolk you've seen, they're a strange blur of hers. But the motion of her hands seem to be playing with a thread that lacks core and shape that lacks interest. I may be she half-minded, or deaf, but something feels wrong as you watch her knitting. Takes an odd sentence, and you have terrible suspicion that something lurks beneath what your eyes are showing you. Focus on her brown hair. Oh, it is brown. Interesting. Most implausibly to the left of her head, as you follow the strands of her lock downwards, as her hair becomes long and black, splintering off into threads of black silver, wrapping around her hands. She forming a soul candle with the threads, binding a net in front of you, each finger long and sharp like a series of knitting needles, almost hypnotic. The silver and black strands of her hair waves together, with silver pigments of highlight, she black shadowing it. And suddenly you are calm. You're on a plateau, almost height of a tower, several stories high, and plateau is like a table lying beneath the clear sky, and beneath the plateau surrounding it all directions a forest hazy with mist. Although, whatever it is, actual mist or distance or recollection, resting the curve of a natural arc above you is a great copper bell, half gain and size of a man hanging at attention, as if looking down on you and even unfolding before you. The floor has soaked in the sun, and the rock beneath you is rough and warm. The sky forms curl around you. You feel different, not disbodied, but you feel your body, your physical contours have changed along with the surroundings. Can I just leave now? I really don't care about her anymore. And you hear a soft series of chimes, like wind chimes. The sound and scene gain color, texture, as if the sun is beckoning you gently forward, filling your sense thoughts like a mist, rolling softly into a sealed chamber. And the shine coaxes you deeper into the memory, and you are certain it is memory of a worn one. You are on a stone of plateau, your knees and wound texture of a ground silver white, shimmering like adra. The plateau is forming on its glimpsing it in the sun. You can feel heat on your skin, your wrists, and your hands. Your hands are in motion. Weathering not thread, but gathering tendency, moving along the first movement of Bear's will. Your hands are wet, your hands are upon the flesh of a newborn child, and you can feel a crawling of tiny head, turning into your grip, its head slicks wet from the womb. The hands you are wearing inherits have done this many times, and they are practiced and confident. You can feel distant pains in your own head as the head emerges, a stream of fluid from the womb, helping the newborn slide forward. The woman's elaborate breathing, crying out. Focus on the child and movement of your hands. As your hands move, your heart and sound chimes clear, cutting through the haze of memory. You cannot see where they are coming from, but they are closed, and they are meant as a comfort. Of that you are certain. Draw the child forward. Though coaxed by your hand, every movement causing the chimes to sound again, long eagerly, and the child comes forward. As it does, your hands are in motion, wavering, moving along lead of soft wet rope. No, another cord from the large of a neck to the woman before you. You're holding a small child, still wet from the womb before you. The child cries out, a cry full of life, full of soul, ringing of chimes, echoing in the thoughts, filling its with its welcome. The soul is blurring in the edges, as if you were revealing the soul from within the soul. But it's there, it's alive. The woman before you is weeping, and at her first cry, her hands reach out for it. Surrender the child. You surrender the child to her, something you have done many times before, and as your hands move chainly echo the movement, you realize the chains are hanging from the cards of your own wrists, and where once they echoed of a memory, they are now echoing in the child's mind as well. The chimes are intended to welcome the child to be the first gentle greetings into the world, a smooth sound guiding by the tense motion of your wrists, who are helping to wave its thoughts, its expressions and the experiences. The woman laughs with ragged joy, laughing from rich throat. Her emotions seem smooth, but her physique demands a labor, have left her exhausted. But the child is here, the child is safe, and our top plateau is peaceful, calm, distant, fluttering as the memory persists. Slowly pull back, retreat from the memory. With effort seen, bleed of color, and your mind becomes your own again. There is no pull, no anchor, yet sound of chains remaining, as they extended in the memory. They sound here as well, and they are hanging from a woven birds on the wrists of the woman before you, even as your head spinning from the touch of her mind. The sound of the chains of her wrists and ship unclear, as if coaxing you back to the real world. The woman still sits before you, but she is nothing like what you saw first. She is waving black-haired diamonds that drape over from light streamers. Her hair is stripes of black run through her silver. It is black. Her age is almost impossible to tell. She simply feels old, like a watchtower. As she lifts her hand to face you, you see that her hair is draped across front of her face like a veil. What you first saw of her was a mental glamour of some sort, unconscious, and you realized what you see is not what the world sees. And you are perhaps the first to see her true self. Still, you don't sense dread in the realization of anything, you feel a sense of relief from the figure. You can hear her thoughts, and she is glad to at least be seen. Who are you? I am seen, but the eyes of others do not remember. You are the first to see me as I am. A crow steps aside. There is the light touch of your mind and caresses that her left hand mirrors, the motion, the touch reaching up the air between you. Hear chimes on her wrists sound softly. Her hand moves as if a something resting on your cheek. Distance, and she peeks softly and slowly. I wouldn't touch me if I were you. Your memories, accidents of wheels, caverns, tracks, fever, questions. By running water, she swallows and chimes sound as her hand shakes. Violence in the night's campfire, arrows in the dark and fleeing, falling rocks and cracking stone, and a storm. She stops, her head frozen in the air. The storm. The storm that bursts you. Did screaming wake you from your mind, Grando? The question seems to be for both of you. Your memories of how painful its cry. It's difficult to ignore. It's like a child, many children crying out. Be cautious what you read in my mind without my leave. Her hand withdraws swiftly, the chimes sounding softly once again. The woman stands uncertain, as if she has been sitting for some time, or is too weak to bear her own weight. You notice her cheekbones are tight, her face gaunt, yet, while her stance is weak, she seems determined to stand before you. You are able to see me. It's almost a question. You're kinda creepy, but I really don't mind. You don't see anything special about you. She only lies she doesn't seem to know what you saw when you looked at her. The image on the plateau. Yet the image was so clear, so sharp. You're surprised that she didn't feel you there. To see me is a rare gift, a watcher's gift. Was I helping a woman give birth? No. You said you could hear a storm in my thoughts. What did you know of the storms? So many questions, thoughts, wrinkling like storm winds. The storm rolls through you, deep beneath your thoughts, yet mounted and secret like an underground river. I cannot tell if it's a river or channels, or rolling. What keeps you true straight buried? The fact that you could hear it all, survive it, is something few have ever done. Yeah, I have a very high intelligence. I made sure I bumped my points in it. Your powers will grow stronger with each soul you touch, as it allows you to reach to mine. There is silence, although it seems lost for head beat. You thought it snatches out between two of you, like a pool between your minds. You blink, take breath, and then you realize the wants to ask a question, yet can't form the words, as if assembling them is painful, or there simply are not enough pieces. Do you wish to travel with me? Does she? I don't know. She doesn't seem useful at all. She has a arbalest. Okay, a crossbow maybe. I must take my leave. Yeah, I don't want her with me, but I am actually kind of curious about her. Oh well, I can always read her in the wiki. Anyway, let's enter the house. Ah, an armorer. Traps. You must be a gullible fool to think those things can stop me from looting everything you have. Okay, let's see if we can sneak to this. Doesn't seem to be very good at spotting me. Hello? Really? That's actually kind of surprising. Hello, Ferris. What can you tell me? And you have a decent armor. A horny helmet, which is gonna play a very bad trick on you. Is that a saber you have? I think it is. I have one too. Looks like more massive than mine. You see a modest fierce house worn from the cooking fire, lit its far end. This man is sitting on a high back chair looking at a large book. With a small boy in his lap, he smiles and asks the child about the pictures on the pages, as he points to different parts of them. He looks up as a woman approaches to stir something in the pot hanging over the fire. She adds some carrots on the pot, mixes them in, then stands to turn the man. She says something to him and leans in to give him a kiss when a knock comes at the door. Okay. The man makes a stand and the woman motions from him to stay. She walks to the door and glances out the window. It is already too dark outside for anyone to be seen. She lifts the bolt on the door and pulls it open, revealing a tall, lanky man with a strange smile on his face. There is a wet running sound, and the woman makes a weak groan, collapsing on the floor, blood quickly pouring around her. The man in the chair leaps to his feet, grabbing his son, interposing himself between the boy and the man at the door, who steps over the body and enters the house. Gallag vowed you would feel his pain. The man says conventionally, as four other men enter the house behind him. It appears your end has come due. You're a bad man, mate. Should I kill him? No, I like bad people. Okay, let's leave, shall we? Okay, we're gonna visit the inn last. I'm pretty sure that's where our prey lays. Don't see any doors on this house. And as you know, if you don't see them, then they don't exist. Okay, let's enter this one then. Hello. Game. So, you seem to be a sailor person, sorry. Yeah, I thought as much. Okay, what do we have here? Ah, more shrooms. He's keeping an eye on me apparently because this guy... Although closer to him... Okay, show me what you have. Haven't seen you before. Always glad to see a new face in town. Company good for business and chatter good for a soul. That's what I always say. Anyhow, what can I do you for? What has been going on in the outport? Oh well, you're quite a little town. Not much happens here specifically. Not since the legacy hit. People realized that they couldn't have babies and just stopped trying to altogether. That takes a lot of excitement out of the day-to-day, if you can believe it. Turn what you have for sale. Ooh, named weapons, I like those. Right, Hezzy Thorn. Mosquito. Yeah, we're gonna read all the names of those swords. Hello. Angelo Gibson. It's an expensive one at that. Okay, let's see tall grass first. Okay, a group of Adrian pigmen were so disciplined in battle they grabbed the attention of the Farconian himself. He made them member of his personal retinue and ordered special weapons fashioned for them. They marched at the head of his procession, their movement perfectly synchronized and their picks swayed like blades of grass in the wind. The pigmen became public favorite during the royal festivals and parades, and both they and their weapons earned the nickname Tall Grass. Unique greatsword two-handed. Hours of Saint Rumbold. Saint Rumbold was amongst the first of the Athonian pilgrims to take up Emperor's offer to ascendment in the distant territory of Redcliffe. The dedicated priest of Shin God, Rumbold was regarded as a leader in his community, known for his unwavering dedication to his congregation and his stand vigilance against lapses in doctrines. What survives his sermons reflect the devotee for emphasized and redemptive power of the faith, even as he warns against the dire punishment awaiting those who reject Elo's benefits. By colonization efforts and Austrasian settlers into direct conflict with the natives' Orland population, the Runland was amongst those credited with routing several burns attacked upon the settlers. Ultimately, however, Rumland was mortally wounded during a violent raid. Witnesses claim that upon the moment of his death, Rumland's body was suffered by an overwhelming burst of light, knocked the remaining Orland warriors flat, else scattering them back into the forests. A council rose Rumland's final hours, describing the grand miracle which were observed to have occurred during the day previous to his death. Aetios, it was said, had informed Ruther of his fate, and the priest accepted his gladly and without fear. He knew that death was only the first step in his rebirth. He subsequently marked each of his final 27 hours with miraculous act, such as his congregants would know of the gift of Eothas had bestowed upon him, and the continuance of Romulus' work in his stead. Rather than stanch and flow of Erothesian settlers, Rumbold's death only encouraged more pilgrims to venture across the sea, eager to set their eyes upon the final resting place of Eothean's favoured servant. The house of Saint Rumbold was forged in dedication of this patron, saint of the settlement, and its blade is inscription with markings counting the 27 hours before Nomper's passing. In such manner was the blade imbued with the saint's power. It was said that the man might kneel before the sword and know with precision the moment of his death. Ooh. Nice. Grudge Keeper. That sounds like a terrible name for a sword, but for a weapon, but whatever. Now, we do have... What do you give? This particularly cool looking armor with shapes, but it's blue, so I don't like it. Okay, Grudge Keeper. One of the many Orlan slaves freed by the 10-year Tanthries, Answon Kaz, swore vengeance against those who have wronged her and her people. Gathering a small group of followers freed Orland and performed night raids on known slavers, she would go on to join the Greeks' forces, putting down a Copper's rebellion, if in an official capacity, and it was this point that she acquired ordinarily craft robe from home of a wealthy slave owner. Every time Kaz brought down a foe, she would scratch a notch into the note. She wielded by the time she lost possession of it. The road bore Crescent's pattern along the lead that many assumed was part of its original design. Yeah, people weren't very bright, were they? And of course, Rita Z's thorn. The sight of Rita Z on the battlefield was something no combatant ever forgot. Stockley and some of even the Orlan students, Rita Z insisted on using a spear in lieu of any other weapon offered to him. To the frequent shock of his comrades, Rita Z proved an unstoppable force on the battlefield. No matter how overwhelming the odds, Rita Z could take down opponents with almost comical ease, leaping on great heights to bring his spear down upon his foes with crushing force. Whatever it seemed that Rita Z might at least meet his end, the fearless Orland would find a second wind and fight with renewed conviction. Mosquito. Hello, Mosquito. That's a rapier, one-handed. 10 to 15 damage. Let's compare this to my... A saber. We'll compare it to the saber because we already have a pretty decent rapier, I think. Hello, Mosquito. We were talking about you. Let's compare. Oh yeah, this is much better than the rapier. This friendly crafted but unassuming rapier was created in the hot and humid forests of Kirkwood. Its first owner was a minor nobleman named Erwin Grothman, known in social circles for his obsession manner and annoying habit of lingering too long before was not wanted. Edwin had little use for a blade in the court of frequented. When Edwin died a notable death, the blade passed to a young niece, Cediant Grofenmev. She found that the weapon had characteristics of her uncle, good at interrupting and improper at times, draining the life out of anyone it came into contact with. Had a genetically anointed presence. It was Cadet who gave the rapier its nickname, Mosquito, so this blade drains blood and used it regularly in court duels. Interrupting, strong, accuracy versus deflection. Doesn't say that it does. The weapon passed to Edwin's grandson in the Dyewood upon her death, and Theon Grinrube. He was lost during the Glanfront raid. Mosquito was lost with him, as he had no descendant, and none of the grandparents of Adria have made claim to the rapier. Now circulated amongst anonymous Glanfrants and Dyewoodian owners ever since. Good. Angios Gapson. The renowned valiant acrobat Agnio wore this garment. It doesn't have much of defenses. DR6, recovery speed, -20, fine. Yeah, it's nothing special. Wore this with performing jaw-dropping feats and seemed to defy the walls of nature and standard of a good sense. He would leap into a tremble across walls sustained high above the ground, and while there is no evidence that his grandson actually reduced his intelligence, his concern for safety lessened his fame as he grew. It gives you athletics, it doesn't give you minus intelligence at all. He foresaw the wearing of the safety harness and eventually the use of any kind of safety rope, claiming that these will limit his ability to perform. While his skills never failed him, one of his tight ropes unfortunately did. He plunged into his death at the foot of Enzian's fortress. Oops. Idiot. Only usable by Paladin, is it? Yep. Zelosaur area effect. Okay, so... yeah, I'm not gonna read those. If you are interested, you can read them, I think. I hope. So anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I'm gonna take a break here, and next time we're going to do the end. So see you then. Goodbye and farewell.